I wish we could do smells on YouTube as well. Remember these things when you were a kid? Was it fireweed, is it called? You touch these little things and watch the seeds bounce out. And the smell of them as well, it just takes you back. It's amazing how smells really do take you back. And we used to, as kids, we used to get this bit here and make pea shooters out of that bit. And play about with them things. That's not ripe yet. Watch all the seeds bounce out. I've got a really strange smell. They used to make good pea shooters, them ones, that bit. Funny the signs of getting old. I thought I'd been stung by a mosquito just under my eye the other day. And it was tickling all the time. And scratching and scratching. Till I eventually went and had a real good look in the mirror with my glasses on. It wasn't a mosquito bite. It was an eyelash, an eyebrow that had grown really long, one hair. And it sort of bent down and it was tickling my cheek. And I thought, oh no, look at that. It's been tickling me for 2 days and I hadn't even noticed this big hair growing out of my eyebrow, and tickling my face. And that's one of the things about getting old, isn't it? You find things sprouting on your body. You get maybe a hair sprouting out of the top of your ear, or big rogue hairs coming out of your nose. And it's all to do with DNA. And each time when them cells reproduce, the DNA is reproduced as well. But it's not like digital, you get a perfect copy. It's like analogue, and the copy's just a tiny bit degraded. And so, if you're lucky, then you'll get a big long hair growing out of your nose or something growing out of your eyebrow. And if you're unlucky, then you'll get a cancerous tumour growing somewhere, which is when some other cell from a part of your body has gone rogue as well and decided to go its own way and not follow the DNA plan, because the plan is not quite drawn right. And that's what gets us all in the end. Radiation. Radiation from the earth, from the sun, from outer space, from the food we eat, the smokes we smoke, the drinks we drink. There's all this radiation which eventually destroys your DNA. That's why we have to make new people. So they've got a fresh blueprint and they're not being drawn from old smudgy blueprints. But it all sort of evens out in a way, because when you get that big hair growing out of your nose or the one growing out of your eyebrow, you don't notice them because your eyes are going as well. So everything's a bit blurred, so you don't see those problems. So nature's kind in a way. And maybe if you get in an accident or a crash or something, you don't feel the pain as you would normally, because your brain says, right, let's make some opium. He's in shock, give him some opium. And that's when you see ladies lifting cars off the kids, or people running with bullet wounds in them because they're just on automatic pilot in a way. Here we are riding by a little pear orchard. Have a look at the pears if you wish. A steel one. Oh, good crop this year. In fact, most of them have been picked. But that tree I wasn't picked. Leaves falling, changing colour. Nice bit of horse manure there, should stick it in my pocket for the garden. I remember my grandmother saying, the Irish grandmother, she used to dye her hair with horse manure. She used to steep it in water and you get a sort of nice chestnut brown colour on your head. I don't know what it smelled like though. That's what she used to say anyway. But she used to come out with some pretty weird stuff, my grandmother. So I think I'll head up into the forest. Why not? Why not indeed? Been feeling a bit kind of morbid the last few days. It's 10 years since we moved into the house we built. When I first moved into this village, about 11 years ago, 12 years ago, there was a guy who lived about 5 doors away from me, a guy from Manchester. And sometimes in life, you meet someone who's like your long lost twin brother. And he'd lived a similar sort of life to me. He was like an old hippie. And hitchhiked to India and back and got put in an Italian prison for something. And he was an absolute brilliant guitar player as well. And that was such a nice thing that there's this suddenly this guy in this little German village just living around the corner. And it was good for him as well, and kept each other sane. And yeah, but he died 10 years ago, and coming up to 10 years ago, his anniversary, died the same time as we moved into the house. And we were relatively young, he was, same age as I am now. And we used to do a bit of music together. And the guy who played bass with us, also from the village, he's gone as well, last year. So all my buddies that I made in this village all died off. There's only me left, which is a bit worrying sometimes. And a bit lonely. Riding along like a wraith, talking to myself. Some people seem to be able to keep up a modicum of happiness all the time. Everything's great, everything's wonderful. But it's not true in a way. You say don't lose your happy thoughts, but happy is relative. And every white has its black, every situation, every feeling has its opposite, the yin and yang, swings in the roundabout, the apple and the pear, the high and the low, and I guess the art of living good is just gliding along between them two extremes, middle of the road, third path, whatever, I don't know. And I was saying about them two guys, they're really nice guys and had a lot of fun together. And now it's a bit lonely and sad without them. And then when you get into that melancholic black dog mood, often the only thing that can get you out of it is nature. The simple nature of beauty. Simple natural beauty. And looking over the hills at the mist, or the sunlight shining through the trees in the forest. Just getting out somewhere and looking at something that's intrinsically beautiful. And that resonates on your head. If you don't like to go out in forests or to the beach, or if nature's not your thing, then you can do something like go to an art show. Look at some art. Look at something beautiful to make you feel beautiful inside. Because we all resonate from what we see. The world is like a clapper, and we're a bell, and when the clapper hits us, the bell rings. So I'll turn the camera off and climb up into the forest, because you don't want to hear me puffing and panting up this hill. So here I am, climbed up for 300 metres, nice sweat on me, shaking up at the top of this tower. It's a big tower, but you see, even if I shake, we all get a shake, so it's not as stable as you think. I hope the camera don't fall down now. When I was talking about getting old before, that's another thing that I've noticed, heights. Didn't used to bother me heights at all, but I don't like it in high places anymore. Especially when you have to go up a spiral staircase. And you get dizzy as well. Dizzy and then you're high up. But now that it's relatively calm up here, it's not too bad. Unless I look down. There's not too much wind, but those windmills are going pretty fast, even though it feels like a still day up here. If you've watched a few of my bike ride videos, you know how empty it is up here. Usually I see 1 or 2 cyclists when I come up here, and I feel like the king of the whole land. These little paths down there, and I could ride along that path and through the woods down there and up the other side and not see anyone at all. Just me in this big Teutonic forest, all alone, with the trees and the spirits of the forest chasing me along. Let's have a look down. I recommend it.